The second rule of engagement is to create a trustworthy brand image. In this video, you will learn why trust is a key component of success on Etsy, what a great brand does, how to tell your brand story, the brand basics you must have to launch an Etsy shop, and the importance of filling out your About section and adapting to Etsy's universal policies. Your brand is an opportunity for connection with your customer and a first impression. Brands have personalities and they evoke feelings. The use of imagery, fonts, color, and photo styling are powerful in their ability to make customers feel a certain way about your brand. Namely, your customers can have an instant connection to your brand because it speaks to them, their aesthetic, or something they admire, but can also have the opposite effect and turn them off in those same respects. A strong brand can create customer loyalty, allow you to set higher prices over time, and create an association to your product as higher quality, among other things. Good brands promote trustworthiness to their customers, and that will keep customers coming back time and time again. This rule of engagement is not just a logo, it's a brand image, because your brand is much more than your logo. Your brand can tell a story and be very cohesive, acting as your lead salesperson in the humanless online marketplace of Etsy. You are a part of your brand, which means your About section should be filled out and you should have a profile image of your smiling face. Etsy wants its marketplace to be unique and to promote the humans behind its shops. But more than that, your brand needs to have something to say, a point of view, a look, feel, and personality. This is conveyed in your logo, shop banner, and any infographics that you place throughout your listing. It not only helps to sell your product because of the potential for customer connection, but it also provides a baseline for professionalism and buyer trust that is expected in the Etsy marketplace. Branding is a rather big topic that would exceed our time together if we were to really discuss all that your brand is and does for you. But for today, I want to simplify this idea down to just two simple questions. 1, what is your brand message? And 2, what is your brand identity? What you want your brand to say revolves around your brand messaging. Your brand messaging is foundational and helps to dictate decisions when it comes to your brand design, as well as your unique brand personality and voice. Think in terms of what kind of impression you want your customers to have and focus on that big picture. Your message helps to let your customers know what is unique about your brand, your core values, and what sets you apart from your competitors. You can summarize this with a tagline or a deeper connection to your brand that you can write about on your About page. Think of words that describe how you want your brand to feel and write them down. Imagine your brand was a person. If it was, what would its personality be? Funny and sarcastic, serious, moody, boho or earthy, feminine, classic. Give your brand a personality and treat it just as a person who will be guiding your customer through your product listings. Because it does. As an added exercise, I recommend creating a mood board on Pinterest or a physical mood board of cohesive images that visually represent the mood or vibe of your brand. This can be so helpful to figure out what you really want your brand to say and convey. So get very clear about your brand message. As you build your board, you may find some conflicting ideas, and that's a good thing and forces you to get clear as to which direction you want your brand to ultimately go. That brings us to question number 2. What is your brand identity? The visuals that come together to make up your brand image are your brand identity. These are your logo, your shop banner, background imagery, colors, fonts, icons, patterns, and any other visual items you choose to use when marketing your items. Take what makes your business unique and translate that visually into a compelling brand identity. Referring to your mood board can help you to figure out how you want to approach all of the visuals you'll be showing customers, from your photography to your font selections. Your logo should give your customers a quick visual connection to your brand. But remember, it isn't the whole brand. Think of it as a quick visual cue to everything in your brand messaging. Customers should be able to look at your logo and get a general feeling for what your company is about. But don't feel like your entire brand message must be visually shown in your logo. Some of the very best logos are often very simple, and when in doubt, simple's a good way to go. Your pre-launch workbook will help you to make the most basic style guide or style sheet that you'll need for your Etsy shop. A quick search on Pinterest for brand style sheet will show you examples of all that you can do with a style guide to create a cohesive visual picture of your brand. Now, you don't need to create a full professional style guide, but over time, I strongly recommend getting as crystal clear as you possibly can about all of your brand visuals, and a finished style guide or style sheet ensures that your brand remains consistent and visually on point. Filling out your pre-launch workbook will give you the most basic style sheet to run with. At the end of the day, your customers need to trust that you are legit, and showing up without a proper brand image is truly a surefire way to lose that trust and quickly cause shoppers to click away from your listings. Additionally, the products in your shop need to make sense for your brand and should be relevant to each other in some way. If you're speaking to two completely different markets, then it's best if you put those products in completely different Etsy shops to avoid making your shop appear hodgepodge with many random items. For example, let's create a hypothetical shop called Wonderlust Weddings and say that it sells wedding decor. Choosing to sell an item such as printable planners alongside wedding decor wouldn't really make much sense for Wonderlust Weddings. They would run the risk of looking very hodgepodge and random. Printable planners would be better suited in their own Etsy shop, branded in a way that makes sense for that product. Unless the product was a printable wedding planner, then we can totally see how someone in the wedding market would find both of these products and this brand appealing. So they make sense in a single shop because they're relevant to each other or to the brand in some way. We've all seen scary shops, whether it's a .com or an Etsy shop that looks like a bad yard sale. We know what it looks like when we find a shop or a brand that we really don't connect with or trust. So think about why that is. For the most part, it's usually a combination of lacking professionalism and also lacking a cohesion and presentation of your product in your shop. In addition, avoid some really simple mistakes that new sellers make, and be sure to fill out all of your About section and check the box that says you'll adopt Etsy's universal shop policies. Etsy tells us these matter in your experience score, which remember, affects your search ranking, because they affect a buyer's trust of your brand. So please just heed that advice and just do it. Easy peasy. To create the actual graphics of your brand identity, here are just a few places where you can find quality branding. For those lacking design experience, you can hire a freelancer to do this for you through sites such as Upwork and Fiverr. There are also many Etsy shops selling services to create your shop icon and banner for you. Canva is a very intuitive drag and drop online graphic design platform that works with simple graphics and is great for beginners. Canva offers a free Etsy shop icon and banner maker, which I have linked under the resources tab. Those with a bit more design experience can find pre-made logo templates on websites like Creative Market, and these logos typically require some Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop experience to modify. Alternatively, you can make your own logo from scratch in your graphic design program of choice, or even hand letter a logo and vectorize it or letter directly using an iPad Pro and Apple Pencil. Regardless of who makes your brand identity, you are in charge of giving the visual direction to be sure your brand messaging carries through. That's why it's so important to be sure to use your pre-launch workbook to brainstorm your brand messaging and be sure it's crystal clear. I've also included the needed assets required to open your shop, including the dimensions of your shop icon as well as your shop banner. And by the way, feel free to have fun with this. Branding can be a real milestone for a creative entrepreneur as you see your business idea literally start to come to life.